I'm convinced someone up in Mattel just does not like Dinoco McQueen because what do you mean? We haven't gotten him in the mainline since 2015. 2015? It's kind of crazy. Now, say you started collecting in 2020, and you've been doing so for the past 5 years. You would have had pretty much all the major McQueens. You would have had Cars 1 McQueen, World Grand Prix McQueen, Rusty's McQueen, Fabulous Lightning McQueen, Radio Springs Lightning McQueen, plus a couple of the expanded universe McQueens like GRC, Race and Rescue, the upcoming Race to Celebrate. And maybe you'd have a couple of versions of Dinoco McQueen, like the Bling Bling version, the Transforming version, or more recently, the Color Changer version, which honestly I consider as a 20th anniversary item, even though it's no one indicated that it's for the 20th anniversary. But the timing of it all, it's like, okay, I kind of think they'd have the known that he hasn't been released in a while in the mainline. Yeah, so they're pretty much do every other version of Dinoco McQueen in the diecast line and as a plastic color changer, but they won't do him as a diecast. What sense does that make? I'm gonna change that because Dinoco McQueen, believe it or not, was the first version of McQueen released all the way back in 2006 alongside regular McQueen. So he was pretty much a day one from the start. He came out before Radio Springs McQueen, Cruising McQueen even. So, I'm hoping sometime, maybe 2027 or 2028, we can get him back in the mainline as a single. Because, like, unlike Dale Not Jr., there's no, like, restrictions for him. It's like Dinoco is a real life company. So, like, and they've done The King. They did Dinoco Cruise recently. I mean, they haven't done Cal Weathers, but, they've done Dinoco stuff. They're not afraid of it. It's just, I just don't get it why they haven't done Sky in a while. But anyways, hello everyone. Happy 20th anniversary of Cars. Today, we're going to be reviewing Dinoco Lightning McQueen, who I think kind of embodies the 20th anniversary a lot. He's from a fantasy sequence at the first Cars movie. Actually, let's just show a picture of where he appeared. I mean, even though I think we all know where he appeared, it's one of the most iconic scenes in the movie. This is when McQueen is kind of still in his cocky rookie stage. He just cared about winning Dinoco. He's the sponsor of Dinoco after the King retired. I mean, he didn't really care about like anyone else. Anything else at that point before Radiator Springs, And in his daydream, it was kind of crazy. He was going all out. He was like, he had these missiles at one point. He has the bling bling wheels. I was like, oh my god, like Bo really has like a plan after getting into Dinoco. Now, obviously, in the movie, it didn't pan out that way. He ended up sticking to Rusty's, but interesting what if scenarios like, what if he did decide to stick with Dinoco? How would the events of Cars 2 and 3 change? Or even the shorts, like how would they have changed? So, very interesting to think about. Now, as for his releases, I'm so excited about reviewing this diecast family that I'm stuttering on my words. But getting to his diecast release, he was first released in 2006, like I mentioned, alongside regular McQueen, making him pretty much, well, I don't know, him and Dirtshot McQueen kind of came out simultaneously alongside regular McQueen. So I think those two were the first official variants of McQueen to be released in the mainline. And then from 2007 to 2010, he pretty much got like a lot of releases as singles, a two-pack with Tex Dinoco, and all of that good jazz. And then he took a long hiatus after Cars 2 came out, didn't return to 2015's Dinoco Daydream series. So there's that. And now, thankfully, that was not his only release. He did get a puzzle box release in 2018 alongside Finish Line McQueen, Transforming McQueen, ironically enough. So that's cool. This is actually that version from the boxes. That's how I got my Dinoco McQueen. But I'm very fortunate, actually. I found him in the West Series Fave at a store called Five Below. And yes, they actually used to sell cars back in the day. That day, they don't anymore, unfortunately. But yeah, they had him and Finish Line McQueen. That's how I got both of those classic versions. But yeah, enough of all that mumbo jumbo. Let us take a look at the diecast for what it is. So as you can see, we have pretty much the same expression as the normal red McQueen. Yeah, unfortunately, he as being one of the first versions of McQueen to come out, they didn't really change his expression that much. I guarantee you, if he were to come out today, he would have a completely different expression and maybe be a little more accurate. And you guys might know what that is. I'll show you all in a little bit. But he does have the Dinoco logo on the spoiler with the nice silver bolts. They're not gray, unlike the Thailand and New China cars of today, because Old China actually used silver, made these cars a little bit more premium. We have the lightning bolts here on either side, which comparing to regular McQueen, all different color. These are more like gray. These are more like, oh, this is more of a lighter gray. This is definitely more of a darker gray. We have the 95 on his left headlight. I don't know why I said taillights, but Yeah, these are still when they were stickers, not actual working headlights, hence the 95. Because they didn't paint in his mouth back in the day. He does have these nice blue wheels, and like I said, unlike the Thailand and New China cars of today and years past, they actually look pretty good. They don't have that sandpaper effect or wave effect. They are pretty much blue all across. Look inside the wheel well, straight on, which I really like. No courtesy sponsors on the side, unlike regular McQueen, but he does have this really nice bolt. It's blue in the center. It kind of starts at like a white and fades up the blue here, kind of dissolving in the back. We have this nice orange and white trim going across the sides. The 95 is now blue, going from a blue to white gradient, which, if we take a look at regular McQueen, is pretty much the same. He still has a lot of the grain. Of course, instead of being yellow and orange, it is now blue and white. Pretty cool. We have the Dinoco logo written on the sides, replacing the Rusty's logo on the regular McQueen. The gas cap is printed on nicely. We have the Lightning McQueen signature. Now, actually, in the movie, I do believe it's supposed to be white, not yellow. I'll try to post a picture of it here if I can. So that's one inaccuracy that they still didn't fix. Because keep in mind, this is the one from the puzzle boxes in 2018. They still have not fixed that. So, I mean, yellow's not bad, but yeah, it doesn't really fit with the rest of his body because a lot of it is white. It's either white, blue, or orange. Honestly, I would have maybe liked it in white or orange. Actually, I do believe white is the right color. And they actually did do it on a couple versions of McQueen. Like, actually, yeah, there's Transforming McQueen. You see the McQueen part. I know it's like kind of like half and half, but you see they have the McQueen text in white and Lightning in white too. So pretty much like every other version of Dinoco McQueen besides the normal version got all those inaccuracies fixed, like the signature. But he does have the blue to white gradient on the roof here, the 95, the blue window bars. And yeah, the big one, no Dinoco logo on the spoiler, even though he has it in the movie. And that was actually how regular McQueen was for a while. He didn't have to rush his logo until 2008, 2009, around that era. But yeah, for whatever reason, when Dinoco McQueen was re-released in 2015 and 2018, they did not do that. Which, like, even after 2008, I'm like, okay, they should have updated this by now. But no, I mean, it's not bad. It just feels very empty, though. Like, again, other versions of it got it right. Like, Blink McQueen, look, he has the Dinoco logo on the spoiler and the white signature. So it's like, okay, Mattel, what was stopping you? So that's why I really wanted him to get re-released in Thailand or New China, because I feel like they would fix all these issues. But I mean, then again, I didn't put the decals on window spoiler when they reissued him from Thailand, so who knows? But I think they would have done it on the Dinoco McQueen, since they did it on Blue McQueen. So it's like, okay, you kind of have to do it on Dinoco McQueen. But on the back, we have the Dinoco logo, the taillights, which are all stickers with the 95 on the right taillight, the black little thing on the back, dot on the back. I'm assuming it's for like extra gas. The spoiler holders, which are actually in silver, not gray, so that is cool. Here's the other side. Unfortunately, mine's a little like misprinted, like the edge of the bolt. It's not like the white outline is a little bit farther from the bolt, so yeah, even the old China's quality wasn't the best back in the day, but at least the decals weren't like blurry, they were actually readable. And here is the base, if you're interested. 1247 EAA at the 124th day of 2017 at the EAA factory, which does check out, because he was releasing those McQueen puzzle boxes in 2018, in the second wave, that is. So yeah, that about does it for Dinoco McQueen. A very classic release. I'm kind of surprised I didn't get to review him earlier, but I'm so happy I found an occasion for him, because he's a really good version of McQueen. I think he deserves to be showcased. Now, comparing him to regular Lightning McQueen from, obviously, the Rusty version, the most iconic version of him. This is the Thailand one, so probably not the best comparison, because there are some differences, but, I think it'll do. Expression, there, of course, we have all the Rusty's logos with switched out for Dinoco, headlights. See, even like regular Rusty's McQueen has like a couple of contingency sponsors if focus, like my guys does not want to focus, see? But yeah, see, even regular McQueen has some sponsors. Dinoco McQueen does not. I guess he's just like, you know what, Dinoco's the best, so I don't really need any better sponsors. I mean, obviously we know it's not true, because even in his other paint jobs where he doesn't have a lot of sponsors, he still has a couple. So, we have a red yellow bolt. You can see what changed and like what really didn't. At the end of the day, they're both still McQueen's. But you know, yeah, see how regular McQueen has the yellow signature? That fits the design. This does not. I think white should have been the way to go. It really should have. I don't know why I didn't fix it. And of course, the Rusty's logo is on this one, thankfully, because this is a newer one. But the Dinoco is still missing on Dinoco McQueen. Dinoco Rusty's. Yeah, so it's pretty much the same design, just simplified a little bit. Replacing all the Rusty's logos with Dinoco logos. The color scheme is like drastically different to match Dinoco's livery, obviously. And yeah, that's pretty cool. Now zoom out a little bit. I do want to compare it to some other Dinoco racers slash characters, like here's Bling Bling McQueen. This is my very old one from way back in the day. That's why he looks like he's been through World War III. Oh no, we are getting some really weird lighting. Okay, there we go. Okay, well, the camera does not like Bling Bling McQueen. He just like looks so grainy. Okay, we good? Cool. Okay, anyways. Cool, he does have the right signature rather than the yellow signature, and the correct Dinoco logo on the spoiler. So yeah, like you get it right on some variants of Dinoco McQueen, but not the main man himself. Even though Lynn Tinkler's actually got that right, which is kind of crazy, because like, of course we have the Bling Bling wheels replacing the regular wheels. Yeah, very beat up Bling Bling McQueen, but still want to show. Here is Transforming Lightning McQueen. This is the new China version, so the blue is a little different compared to the old China blue. I think the Thailand and the new China shade of Dinoco blue is more accurate to the movie, if I'm gonna be honest. But yeah, this is what I mean by the printing, because here, I'll do that, Joe. But yeah, you see how the wheels have like weird sandpaper effect, whereas with the old China didn't really have that issue. And the decals quality is a little questionable. I'll say this one's not horrible. I've seen like way worse, honest to God. I will say the gas cap on this one looks a little better, maybe. This one just looks like a dot. This actually looks like a proper gas cap. So, again, just some benefits, but I don't know. I just don't think we're ever gonna get back to this era of China with clear decals, non-sandpapery wheels. I think we're gonna stick like this. Yeah, looks like mine has a little bit of shipping in the front. That's not good to see, but anyways, that's my way about Transforming McQueen. I do want to show off the King. This is the new China version of him as well, so lots of fun comparisons. I know this video is taking quite long, so I'm really sorry for that, but I really want to, I want to give Dinoco McQueen his due diligence, you know? The classic version of McQueen, so you kind of have to take all the time in the world for this guy. Interestingly, that the King did not have blue window bars or blue wheels. I mean, this was supposed to be silver, but the new China one just, they give him gray wheels for some reason. I'm not a fan of that, but whatever. This one wants to make a good 2-pack, honestly. Even if he doesn't appear like actually physically in the movie and only in a daydream, I still think this would be a sick 2-pack. Oh, 3-pack if we really want to get Dinoco Chick involved. And then here's the other blue McQueen in the entire movies, Fabulous Lightning McQueen. I did actually do something really special with him recently, so you may see that on the channel soon. Hopefully I can post it for Course 3's anniversary coming up soon. But yeah, that what does it for Dinoco McQueen. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed, and happy 20th anniversary to Cause. This is Joe Quick Tire, signing out.